News with Gina.
The News with Gina Grad.
Well, Bernie Sanders just made it official. He's running for president again. Sanders confirmed Tuesday morning with Vermont Public Radio that he plans to seek the Democratic nomination in 2020.
I'm picturing those two chicks on the sweaty balls
yes,
with Alec Baldwin.
Coming up next.
Very exciting.
Vermont Public Radio.
Titillating.
You got all the energy of Vermont Public Radio, dude. You better pick it up a notch.
Are you feeling the burn?
He told
It sounds like something, I do once in a while. There's those things your agent threatens you with.
Yep.
You don't re-sign this TMZ deal, you end up on Vermont Public Radio, all right?
I don't think anybody wants
Hand
that.
to God. Is that what you want? I swear to God, I'll put you there.
Well, he told CBS This Morning host John Dickerson that this time he's going to win. And here's a clip of how he plans to do that.
He's going to win.
We are going to also launch what I think is unprecedented in modern American history, and that is a grassroots movement, John, to lay the groundwork for transforming the economic and political life of this country. The only way that real change takes place is when millions of people stand up, fight back, and say, enough is enough. We're going to have a government that works for all of us, not just the few.
So same platform as last time, it sounds like. And I stick with my theory. I think that people are kind of over feeling the burn. I think they're over Warren. I think they want young, energetic Democrats.
Young girls, man. Pump up the jam.
I think they want their Kamalas and their Cory Bookers, and I think that's how it's gonna go.
He's too old and too white to do anything. And also, he was kind of a novelty a few years ago. Like, it was sort of, Hillary Clinton was a politician and she was pretty down the middle and, Bill and everything else. And he came in as this different, whoa, he's got ideas. Now everyone's got ideas.
Yeah.
So I don't know if his ideas are going to stand out quite as much.
He stood out in contrast to her. He doesn't stand in contrast to them.
He looks moderate compared to AOC and everybody else.
Right.
Well, Harvey Weinstein's sex assault trial has been delayed a month after his attorneys asked for more time.
He probably doesn't do a lot of swimming at 4:30 in the morning. Weinstein, that's a whole different kind of Harvey. Little less aquatic. And loves the ladies.
Oh, that's a big, huge difference.
Just quiet. I don't know if those two Harveys would have a lot in common other than their name.
Yeah.
Right.
I do not know.
They might both be Jewish. I'm not sure, but that's
possible.
About it. The new trial date is June 3rd in Manhattan Supreme Court. That's going to page 6. While the reasons for the postponement weren't released, his new legal team is scheduled to, by the way, scheduled to start a 10-week trial Tuesday. Weinstein is, of course, accused of assaulting production assistant Mimi Halei in 2006 and raping an unidentified woman in 2013.
His new legal team is from where? So when I talked to Mark Garagos at length about this, he told me that a couple things. One, he said his old legal team was about as good as you get. Like, I don't know why you part ways with those guys.
I thought it's because they didn't want to deal with Harvey anymore.
Or
they wanted to separate themselves from him.
Whatever, he needed to correct whatever course he was on because they were the best and his best opportunity to get off. Number two, Garagos said he never takes stuff like out of state. Like, you got to be in state. You got to know all of the lay of the land.
Right.
He would never. He'll do stuff in Los Angeles, but he won't go do something in New York. You need someone from New York to do New York. You don't want the best in Chicago to come to New York,
right?
Because there's so many ins and outs of the law and nuances that you need someone who's totally familiar with that environment. Those are his two things.
That makes sense. And that's, and I don't know, you might have more information on that, Van, but it was, I think Harvey's used to being someone who calls the shots and nobody says no to Harvey, which I guess is how he got into this in the first place. And a legal team who can't really work with that just kind of throws their hands in the air.
I think he also, to a degree, like, Harvey Weinstein did a couple of things where he went rogue. Do you guys remember him sending out emails to everyone that he knew in the media and telling them to, you got to support me? And that makes kind of, this type of this is a complicated legal case with a lot of different allegations coming from a lot of different places. Some of them are quite old. And when you kind of taint things like that, it aggravates high-powered lawyers. They're like, what are you doing? We didn't, so I don't think that everyone's in for that type of experience with their law firm name on it.
I went over to Garagos' home the other day to talk to him about this in person, and he from his upstairs balcony, he has a T-shirt can and he fills with $100 bills now after the Kaepernick thing, and he just fired it at me and yelled, "Go on, get!" I said, "But Mark, we want to talk." And he pumped it again. He fired another round of hundreds. The gardener dropped his leaf blower, and we all started scrambling around on the ground. And he threw a bottle of Dom Perignon at me, and I was like, "What's going on?" And he fired a round up in the air, and other gardeners from other homes came around. And next thing you know, I couldn't find the door anymore. I had to get out of it. It was a full scale. It was like making it rain at a strip club.
Mark's like a totally different person
He's
now.
a different guy now.
Yeah, they got paid, man.
He threw a Nike at me at one point as well.
You got the whoosh imprint on your forehead?
Well, I mean, he's a different guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I miss the
You
old
think you know
Mark.
somebody?
Well, as the NBA kicked off the 2019 All-Star festivities in Charlotte, North Carolina, League Commissioner Adam Silver had some fun in showing the jersey of the future. I don't know if you saw this back a few days ago.
This is the NBA, did you say?
Yes. So it seems that it's a Bluetooth-enabled jersey that changes names and numbers when punched into your phone. So before I say anything else, here's a clip of what they're hawking.
You got the smartphone.
I do.
And the smart jersey.
Yes, and yes.
So, can you do something with my jersey?
I can do
So
nothing
he's wearing
with this
a
old school
Michael
jersey.
Jordan Bulls jersey.
Can you do something? What else
I could change that one to 23, but I don't know. I don't have it in red. But I can do.
You can actually change the number and the name?
Yeah. Watch.
This is why I have to show up for tech rehearsal earlier that day. So you don't have to go through this.
So it says 30 Curry. Now
30
he's
Curry.
putting some on his phone. Everything disappears. Now it says
so
23
cool.
Jordan.
It'd be funny if you porn popped up.
Wow.
And the guy's just like, "Oh man, my phone! Damn it!"
Adam Silver.
Thank you very much.
So the point of the jersey of the future seems to be to provide fans with flexibility to show their support during the game. They can switch it, they can play with it, or just walking around. It's not for the players; it's for the fans.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
The crowd could not have been any. They didn't care.
Less interested.
Like they didn't care one iota about the entire thing, man.
There's certain inventions that sound really cool, but they're
just not.
There was a company. God, you got to look this up, Chris. It's probably about 7-8 years ago. They made rims that inside of the rims you could project images in the car rims. You ever heard of this?
No.
Man, like literally, like if you pulled up at a stop sign at PCH, you could show the hot chicks in the convertible, like you with your shirt off, like in the car.
So you're looking at
rim.
somebody's rims and it's like a movie playing or something like that.
Yes. And I don't know. I remember covering it when I was doing a car show. They're probably illegal. I'm sure they're illegal. But it was one of those like, oh, that sounds cool. And then it's like, yeah, but no one's ever going to care or do that.
I got to be real with you, though. They marketed that to the wrong crowd. If I take that back to where I'm from in Baton Rouge, there would be a run on those things, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me inside of the rim, dog, you could see like
That's
chicks
right.
and whatnot? Like, we would be going. It would be going crazy right there. I can tell you right now, because when the spinners first came out, remember the spree wells?
Sure, I remember the spinners. Yeah,
The spinners, when people could not fathom that the rim was still spinning, like it was a huge deal. Rims are really big. I don't feel like they're as big here in LA as they are back home.
Well, I don't know how you guys are doing in the pothole department here, but as a guy, honestly, who's rolling around in a Jag with like some 35 series tires on it, just they're stock, but they're thin-ish. I've gotten like 3 blowouts here in L.A. Like, you got to drive a Jeep in L.A. You can't go with the dubs. You go with the dubs. If you go with like a 26-inch rim and basically a 20 series rubber band around it, you won't get to the west
home,
side without blowing it out at least once.
We found these rims are called Phantasma owls, and so if you while your car's spinning, it just projects anything
animated.
This one was like that, but you could put your own images into the rims.
Rolling
this one
frames.
you could change the image to whatever you want based off like if you look at it,
but not an animated. You're showing me an animated cat.
Yeah, but it could be like
that's not anything I want. That seems you could do anything you want. Take a picture of your kids.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, well, continue your search is what I'm saying, because this looks like.
Yeah, I'm seeing other designs as well, and like, but you're talking about like just like it could be a
like
photo.
a snapshot.
Well, let me explain something. You know they have Play-Doh, right? And they have the extruder on the Play-Doh, and they have like the star, and then they have the circle.
Tess was playing that today.
Okay. That's some of what you want, but it's not anything you want. You see what I'm saying? That may be exactly what you want, but it's not you and your kids. It's just a star. You feel me?
Yeah.
So we need to figure out now, pretend it's Play-Doh, and we need to figure out what we're talking about. Can you take a picture of your kids and put them there, or is it squirrels and cats?
If it's a pair of socks.
Things like that.
You put your face on them.
I've seen one where you could play videos and stuff on it.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So we should see. The problem is the picture you showed us was kind of like a generic thing someone would put on a thing. Yeah, we need like a photograph. All right. Also,
for these rims that no longer exist.
Van, this is the reason maybe I'll get some cred on Black Twitter with thoughts like this, but I thought the spinner rims, dangerous. Yeah. Brothers driving, cops pulling up, seeing this thing, thinking they're taking off. Next thing you know,
what?
They unload a clip. Oh, yeah.
You had this thought back in the day.
I had this thought.
So what did you do? Did you address it? Did you try to help us, or did you just kind of keep
I
it
didn't
to
know
yourself?
about Black Twitter back then.
So you didn't know how to get in touch with us.
I did not know how to send up the signal.
You didn't know how to get it. Yeah, okay. Well, I get that, But now that you know Black Twitter, any future concerns that you have about issues in the community, you know where to go, right?
Well, I'll be on the Red Pill podcast, I think, talking about uppity, and then that'll be my entree into
you
Black
did
Twitter.
talk about that issue on the show, so you probably reached 7 or 8 black people.
Yeah. You have a few black fans.
Almost double digits.
And listen, don't come up to me and go, I'm your one black fan. I have like 7 black fans.
Do you get that a lot? People,
I get that. I do a show in Virginia or something, or I do a show in D.C. or something, and one guy will go, I'm your one black fan.
But you know what, though? I got to be real with you, though, man. I think that those people are underestimating your pull in the community. Because there's been different iterations of Adam Carolla over the years.
That's right.
Like when I was coming, Loveline was a big, huge deal.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so that different iteration. We would talk about that. So I think you got more pull. You should test it out.
Thank you. Maybe into double digits.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Dubs.
Way past 11 dubs digits.
Well, hopefully, Van, again, you can help me with this one, because TMZ reports that the tennis legend Martina Navratilova has no interest in competing against trans women because it wouldn't be fair. She says it's insane and it's cheating. Martina has become passionate about the issue after an online spat with transgender cyclist Rachel McKinnon. She won the Masters Track Championship in LA.
It's the
back
best
in
of
October.
times. It's the worst of times, right? I mean, it's great.
The woman who came in third place said that the fact that McKinnon was allowed to compete against women is not fair, and that's when Martina, who agreed, was labeled transphobic. So now, according to TMZ, Martina said she decided to dedicate some months of her life to researching this topic, and she feels even stronger that trans women have an unfair advantage and shouldn't be allowed to compete against cisgender women, and doesn't appreciate being called transphobic because of a concern about competition. And we've talked about this.
She's lesbian, so she gets a little cred for some reason. Like we have to do this thing where it's, I don't know why, but if you have to have something, like you can't just be rich white chick over there.
Yeah.
The lesbian helps, like you can weigh in on these certain subjects a little better.
Or not.
I don't know. Well, I don't know that.
This is where the movement starts to eat its own tail, right? Because Martina Navratilova was out when she was a champion. Like she was a
pioneer.
A pioneer of gay rights in a way, and now she's being eaten by the movement devouring itself.
Here's my thing. I don't know all of the science, but I know men are stronger than women. So the question is if you want to do, especially like a combat sport, like MMA or something, and you want to switch and you had a man's body, now you're on the hormones, you're on everything else, but you still have the strength.
Well,
and if you still have it, then it's an issue.
They say no. So we delved into this issue, right? So what you would think is that anyone who went through puberty as a man, right? When you come out, your bone structure is different, your muscle density is different, all of those things like that. It seems like a clear advantage. But we covered a story a couple of years ago with an athlete that told us, listen, with all of the hormone therapy that I've had, with all of the work that I've had to do to transition, I've actually lost that advantage. I don't have that advantage anymore. And they feel like, when I say they, I mean the transgender community, that the science backs them up on that. I mean, I can't speak to it as intimately, but that is their response to that.
Well, my feeling is it's the same as performance enhancement drugs, which is sometimes they'll strip a guy's title They used to. They probably still do. Like they test him after a fight, and they find marijuana in his blood. And I'm like, so what?
That's even better that he won.
Right. But so I'm not interested in what you find in his blood. I'm interested in what you find in his blood that gave him an advantage over his opponent. So my thing is I'm completely agnostic on it. My feeling is if you don't have an advantage in whatever the game is, then I'll sign off on it. If you do have an advantage, then I would probably not sign off on it, but I would probably also keep it to things that were a little more finesse and a little less powerlifting or a little less combat sports, especially if anything where someone could get hurt because you had this advantage over them. But if there is no advantage, and I feel like, I don't know, like, would you have to almost go case by case? Like, when did you start your journey to becoming a woman?
Because it's so funny that you mentioned that. I can't remember the name of the athlete they were talking about. What their point was is that they had started so early on that they had started their transition at like 12 or 13, so they never actually got a chance. Like they had started so early on.
Now we have to like make rules within the rules, because if you started your transition before you became a man, essentially before puberty, then to me it's probably physiologically different than becoming a man and then sort of trying to turn the clock back. So I'd be
nuanced.
I'd be interested to find that out, and I guess we'll have to just sort of wait and see if people start doing more winning who weren't winning in the past, or if transgendered folks are dominating the octagon and the powerlifting, whatever, then at a certain point you'd have to go, all right, well, now this is making us. I mean, it's sort of like when McGuire and Sosa were juicing. It's like all of a sudden, forget about 40 home runs. They're in the 60s now, and they're both hitting 3 a day, and they're going back. At a certain point, you stop and go, okay, something's going on here.
Yeah.
So
focus on this.
See some of that.
McGuire hit that 70th home run. It was 6 feet off the ground. He just blazed a shot into the bleachers. You're like, come on, man, this isn't real.
Frozen rope or regular rope with someone pulling it.
Yeah.
They never say that.
A very stiff rope.
Or a regular rope for what you use rope for.
Holding things.
Holding things.
Tents.
With a boat on the other end of it. All right, Gina, what else we got?
Well, controversial fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld has died in Paris. He was 85-ish. He was known to give various answers to that question. Concerns about his health had grown in recent weeks after he was absent from a big fashion show in Germany last month. In addition to his own fashion label, he designed for Fendi and Chanel, and he'd been a lightning rod for controversy, unapologetically favoring razor-thin models and batting away critics who said he was fat-shaming. Lagerfeld is survived by his beloved cat, Choupette, which he said he's had since 2011.
Perpetual bachelor, never had time to marry.
Too busy going through the ladies.
Yeah,
he famously said he would marry Choupette if it were legal. I follow Choupette on Instagram.
The cat.
Yes.
Wow.
It's called Choupette's Diary.
Makes you gayer than him.
Yeah.
And because I'm obsessed with the idea that, from what I understand, he used to have 2 people whose job it was to follow Choupette around all day and journal about what she's doing. And I had to see this cat that was worth doing that. So this is, I think, I don't know, but I imagine all the money's going to Choupette.
Drives an, let's see what, I'm sorry, Subaru. You drive a Subaru. You follow a cat on the internet. Martina Navratilova.
Yeah.
Attractive?
I find her to be a handsome woman. I do.
Powerful.
Very powerful.
Yeah, I'm really inspired
You
by
ever
her.
think about her?
I do. I do from time to
You're
time.
probably wearing fashionable shoes right now.
No, I'm wearing Adidas.
actually, you're wearing Adidas.
Usually, just as I'm drifting off to sleep is usually when I start thinking about
Sometimes
her.
in the tub
Sometimes, yeah.
with the handheld washing thing.
Hey, man, she pops up.
Okay. Just checking.
I live with a
You
man.
follow a cat on the internet.
Yeah,
There was an
Choupette's
outcry
Diary.
when he died about what was going to happen to the cat.
That everybody,
The cat trended.
people are more concerned about this cat than Karl Lagerfeld,
Yeah.
as they should be.
Well, it'll land on its feet because it has to.
It has to.
Because it's a
There's no
cat.
choice.
I feel like, wasn't he sort of the prototype for all that the Will Ferrells
Yes.
and everyone else is sort of made
100%,
fun of
of course.
all those guys,
Yes.
right?
And he always had the silver ponytail and the giant high collar and the big the gloves and the big tie. That was his thing.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Are we running out of these guys like we had the supermodels, and everyone knew who they were, the Naomi Campbells and the Cindy Crawfords, and everyone had there's 7 supermodels. They're going to open a chain of burger places and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And we had our designers, like we knew who these people were. There were the names.
Yeah.
Are we running out of that?
There's still some. You still got Tom Ford. You still got Michael Kors. You still got guys like that.
But I wouldn't know those names.
Virgil Abloh.
No.
That guy right there.
Off his radar.
Yeah, well, they'll still have some of those guys. But maybe you're not into that. Because in the 90s, that was like a big move. Like House of Style on MTV. You had all of the guys and Isaac Mizrahi and all of these guys like that. A lot of those guys, like, that's not as big of a deal as
and
it used to be.
videos.
Videos,
it was all those George Michael.
Yes.
Yeah, had all the models in the videos.
And
you know what the big models are now, though? The big models now are the kids of celebrities.
Oh, that's right.
Kendall Jenner, the Hadids, all these other kids of celebrities. They model now. Yeah.
Haley Baldwin.
Yep, Haley Baldwin.
And Chris Isaacs, remember that?
Oh, yeah, Helena Christensen?
Right.
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
Made me a man that day.
Yeah, everyone's the...
But these
There's
supermodels...
a Tool tune to the capital T.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, maybe we need to go to the tape, but these supermodels were obviously thin and fit and gorgeous, but they were not razor thin. This was the era of the healthy looking thin sort of sporty model, like Cindy Crawford was not razor thin. And
or Heidi Klum or Tyra Banks.
Right, exactly.
No, they didn't have the sort of heroin chic thing, and it was also that dead 1,000-yard stare, like that wasn't part of the deal either, and that's not attractive to guys.
Well, Kate Moss kind of embodied
Moss was the one who
embodied
changed
that whole
Well,
thing.
wasn't it because she was, I mean, tell me if I'm
heroin.
wrong, she was, and instead of casting her aside and losing all that money, they just had to spin it and make that the thing.
Well, initially, it was Twiggy.
Right.
Back in the day, who was the initial waif model. But anyway, I miss that era versus the newer ones with the needle marks and stuff. The Hadids are cute, nice, and pretty, but I like a little more curve. That's me.
I think we all do, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love this show.
See? I'm just trying to get into Black Twitter. I love booty. I fucking love booty. I love some ass.
Yo, there are ways you can get into Black Twitter, man. Just like there's things that you can do right away that Black Twitter will jump on you. Like yesterday was President's Day, right? Mm-hmm. So if you'd have been like, yo, happy President's Day, I will always love my president with a picture of Barack Obama. You're like right away, they're going to be like, yo, man, Adam Carolla, you're invited to the barbecue, boom, 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 and then you're in there.
Wow.
That's good.
Adam, you're woke.
You woke.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But to be honest with you, the documentary goes far, man. I think you're gonna have a big couple of months here.
Well, May, you make the introduction. I feel like
I think you're gonna have a big couple of months here.
There may be guys on Black Twitter who are better known than you, or may have more followers than you. But I feel like you have your sort of. We used to call it bona fides, not bona fides. Yeah, you got that.
You got cred.
You got cred in the Black Twitter community.
Yeah, well, they know I'm down.
They know you're down.
So you're asking me to vouch for you, Donnie Brasco style.
Yeah. I'm doing that thing where, like, you... Donnie Brasco style. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're co-signing.
Right, co-signing. Yeah.
Speaking of movies about gangsters, do you have to pretend to like Scarface?
Oh, please say no.
Yeah, you do, bro.
I'll tell you, black movie of all time.
I'll tell you why, man. There's like Scarface's. For me, I genuinely enjoy it.
No,
right?
you don't.
It's the biggest.
I genuinely enjoy.
How many times I told you
the incestuous bee story?
It is much bigger than Black Panther.
Let me tell you something.
The biggest
absolutely.
black movie ever.
Y'all understand, man. Tony gets sent on a drug deal going wrong, and he comes back with the money and the dope. That's ill. He comes back with the money and the dope. Y'all hate on Tony all y'all want.
No, I learned from watching episodes of Cribs that every time they went, now let's go to the movie theater, next to the popcorn machine in the lobby of the Crib in Miami was a huge poster.
I'm going to give you some sage Black Twitter advice here. Mm-hmm. Don't confuse rappers with the average black people. That's a mistake that a lot of white people do.
Okay, write that down.
Don't confuse rappers.
Is that with an R or W?
Right. Like, those are rappers, and they live a different lifestyle than some of the rest of us do. But we do like Scarface.
But what if I slowly worked it in like, hey, white guy here. I'm gonna hop on Black Twitter after I use the urinal and say hello to my little friend. Come on now. Come on, brother.
That one works? I got you.
They love it. All right. What's next?
Well, a barber in Vietnam is offering up free haircuts for anyone
It's
looking
another
at...
threat your agent's going to yell at you.
You'll be doing
NPR in Vermont. Go open a barber shop in Vietnam. Your choice. Either way, you're out. Your career's over. You're dead to me.
Yep. Anyone who wants to freshen up their look before the upcoming second summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, the Twandong Beauty Academy in Hanoi is offering the promotion until February 28th. I think we have a couple of pictures. In honor of the meeting, you can either get the Kim Jong-un or the Donald Trump hairstyle.
The Trump hairstyle looks way better than Trump's hair.
Yeah.
I love the...
well, that guy's starting out with a nice head of hair, I imagine. Trump said earlier this month...
I do like a culture, though, where you can figure out who the leader is by just who the fattest guy is.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You don't find that so much in our culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Obama's the skinniest guy,
Spindly.
and he's running the show.
Yeah.
You find the big fat guys are the poor people in this in our society. This is an old school society. We just find the fat people; those are the rich people.
Right. And I think
Big Daddy.
The older guy said, "I like the Trump haircut. I'm an older guy, and this is a good look for us. So this could be a thing." Trump said earlier this month he was looking forward to the meeting.
Is the meeting in Vietnam, or why is this happening in Vietnam?
Well, it was in Singapore, so yeah, this one might be in Vietnam. He said he saw this as a potential for an economic powerhouse as it distances itself from its nuclear missile program. So this is a way to get on board and show your support.
Does anyone else in the country have his haircut? Either one of their haircuts?
I think there's only
in our country or their country, because this is a first. You know, I've talked about it in the past. Like my thing was like, Stalin had a big mustache, and then everyone just grew a big mustache. Or Fidel Castro grew a beard, and then everyone grew a beard.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea is you find out who's leading, and then you get the same facial hair. No purchase for Hitler. Nobody else went with the Hitler mustache, which is weird because usually you just follow along, and you'd think thered be some guys with that hairstyle. Maybe not in our country, but
I think at least from the documentaries I watch, because I'm a little obsessed with how it goes down in North Korea. There's like maybe 10 approved haircuts you can
have.
Yeah.
They put like a template bowl on your head.
I was about to say, I never really even see any other North Koreans to really be able to know. It's so secretive.
How much faster is the Fantastic Sams in North Korea than what we got? Because what I'm saying is I sit down. So if a guy's in front of me, he's got like straight hair. He sits down, and the chick's sort of like, "Well, what are we doing here?" And then she has to go fumble for she can't use the clippers.
Right.
She's got to use the scissors, whatever. Then I have hair. This might help ingratiate me with the. But I got kind of a Jew fro here, but I'm not Jewish. Don't worry. So I got the best.
Why did you say don't worry?
Don't worry. I got the best.
Wait.
Black Twitter. Come on now.
Wait. Are you asserting that Black Twitter is anti-Semitic?
Not all of Black Twitter. Not all Black Twitter. What I'm saying is, perhaps I said too much. What I'm saying is, I got the good part of fro without the baggage of the Jew. And I got a nice Jew fro going. But when I sit down, the chick's got to go like, what do we got to get the clip? What number 2?
Right.
What do you do? And there's a long. They have to reboot every time. In that culture, I feel like if everyone's just rocking the same frolic, basically, then everyone just sit down and go, give me the number 7 approved haircut.
Yeah.
No waiting.
Can I ask you guys a cultural question? What goes on in like white barbershops?
Oh, glad you asked.
You're asking me? Son of a bitch.
I can tell you.
Like what goes on? Because our barbershops are like an entire.
I've seen the LeBron James.
You know what you could do?
Show. I know exactly.
No, you don't.
Exactly
Not by that show. No, you don't.
I
ain't nobody drinking Merlot in the barbershop. like a shout out to LeBron and Math, but they're in there drinking red wine and come on, man. It's a lot different. You can come with me if you want.
I would like to go to I'd like to go to the black barbershop because the sad reality of the white barber shop is it's a Russian chick.
It's just not there anymore.
It's just a Russian chick and a Mexican chicks, a bunch of sort of middle-aged chicks from parts unknown. It's not you and Sam the barber sitting and chewing the fat about the Dodgers or any of that. It is now stocked by sort of divorced, middle-aged divorced women are kind of have to. Their kids are grown now, and they have to like get out and work a little.
Yeah,
and,
a lot of Katy Perry music being pumped in.
Word.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do have a little perspective, believe it or not, because I did not get my hair cut, as you can imagine, but I do get hot shaves once in a while. And those are like hipster barber shops, like the dudes that go, that like do the shave with the straight razor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's very hip. Some are sophisticated, some are rock and roll, but like it's very hip.
Anybody sell bootleg DVDs in there?
No. Not to me.
You guys are missing out.
Yeah. It's a black barber shop like if you go to a car wash in a bad part of town and you're waiting for your car and you look down through the display case, like, I'll have the Playboy air freshener and I'll have the miniature crossbow.
and an anniversary
Listen, I'll
card.
say this, though. The black barbershop has come a long way. Like the one that I go to, it maintains the ambiance of the black barbershop, but, it's just a lot going on in there. It's a cultural experience. We are an expressive people, and even when we're getting our haircut, we like to talk, we like to yak it up. People come in there and they try to sell you lunch, and they try to give you all different types of things. I mean, now that everything's streaming, you don't get the movie and DVD selection and the music selection that you used to get, but it's just dope. Listen, if you really want to get tapped in, seriously, that's where it should start. Start with the barbershop roots and the community, man.
I don't want to feel. I saw the LeBron James HBO episode where Jon Stewart was sitting there. He seemed uncomfortable the entire time.
Yeah, but see, this is
I don't want to be that.
This is my thing about that, though. It's like Jon Stewart shouldn't have been uncomfortable because he's in there with like LeBron and Maverick Carter and all of those guys. Now, if Jon Stewart were to come to my actual barbershop, might be a reason for him to feel uncomfortable. Not that anything is going to happen, but they're immediately going to start asking why Jon Stewart is in there.
He's out of place.
Yeah, a little bit
But
out
if
of
I
place.
go in there with you,
we good.
We're good?
We good, but you got to let them. But here's the thing, though. When you come in, you got to let them experiment with the hair.
Okay.
I got to see you with a Caesar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe get you lined up with a part in there.
High
Maybe
tight.
a design.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the wideout for the Steelers who... AB, Antonio Brown. Maybe a little Antonio Brown in the
something
back
like that.
on the side
Why
there.
not, bro? You got a good head of hair on you. It's
It'll
gonna grow
work.
back. Yeah.
We could do it. Listen, I'm down for it. I was this close to saying I won as Mr. T and when I was 19, but I want to put off Black Twitter, so we don't need to relive
what
that.
you're thinking of as the white barbershop kind of died with Gran Torino. Like that's the last time we saw.
Oh, Gran Torino, where they were.
They went in the barbershop and the old timers doing the. They don't
like that or Rushmore or something like that.
Yeah.
where the guy was the barber. Yeah,
we have middle-aged women from like Slavic countries who are speaking sort of broken English and complain about their kids and their ex-husband.
Word.
That's all.
Very
That's
different
all we got.
All right. Well, Canadian comic Russell Peters came to the rescue recently.
Saw it on TMZ.
Yep, I have the
I'll tell you
clip.
everything. I'll tell you everything that happened.
What do you want to know?
He was at his friend's jewelry store. A fella walked in and was just basically picked up a chain or a watch or ring.
$150,000
He was
ring.
looking and he just started walking away with it. And Russell jumped on him, and they subdued him. And according to TMZ, didn't throw a punch, but I did learn that Russell Peters is a black belt in judo.
Yeah.
And they showed a picture of him and his gi, so you know it's official.
yeah. I was against this.
So, what happened there, Van?
Why were you against it?
Yeah,
I don't.
Coach me up for Black Twitter.
I don't get involved in stopping crimes and stuff like that. That's how you get your head knocked off. I saw this as a cautionary tale 2001 when I was working at Best Buy. You know, I was working in the media department and some guy steals like a Dave Chappelle CD or something like that, Dave Chappelle DVD, and then he runs out of the store and they're like, Van, go after the guy. And I'm like, nah.
No.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
Not
don't
worth
think so today.
$13.
Yeah, you know, and plus I was a lot bigger this time. I get my heart rate up for what?
Right.
And then I saw one of our LP guys who was, God bless him, you know, he was very gung-ho about his job. Ran after him, guy turns around, knocks all of his teeth out of his mouth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, cautionary tale. Maybe don't get involved.
But the guy could have went to the barber shop and got the same Chappelle DVD for $9,
Easy.
right?
Less than
lot
$9.
less.
Come
Would have
on,
been
bro.
bootleg. It would have been labeled properly.
$3. Now,
Right.
it might work, it might not, but that's a chance you take.
Can you go into the black barber shop and just buy stuff and leave, or do you have to get your hair cut?
I mean, listen, if you go in there and buy stuff and leave like that, people will probably think you're the police. You know what I mean? So if you're not, if you go in there and you just look, you know, it's like you could, you know what I mean? Because at the barbershop I'm at now, so a lady comes through with a delightful assortment of pies and different pastries and things.
Oh, really?
It's amazing, right? So I guess if I wanted to time it out and I wanted those pastries, I can go in there and get them, but it's kind of weird.
But they already know you. That wouldn't be
weird
crazy.
for me.
Yeah.
I have a naive question. Do you need an appointment?
Oh, yeah. So in the past, no. In the past, you just show up, and sometimes you would really get your feel of the black barbershop because you would be in there for 5 hours. But out here in L.A., things run a little bit different. So, yeah, I make an appointment. You know.
All right. Let me see if I can get some cred. Gina, you play the woman who sells the pies.
Okay.
I'll play me in the black barbershop trying to get some cred on black Twitter.
Okay.
All right. Remember, you only have pumpkin pie.
Okay.
What kind of pie do you have?
Pumpkin.
No sweet potato?
Excuse me? No.
Just no sweet potato?
I just have pumpkin.
Well, then I'm good.
You know what you should have told her?
Okay.
She said she only has pumpkin pie. You know what she said? You must be lost.
You must be lost. Oh, yeah. That's good.
You must be lost. 'Cause I don't know why.
good.
I don't know why you would bring that pumpkin pie trash into this establishment with you guys
sweet potato.
That's right. You guys are pumpkin pie
Wait,
fans.
sweet potato and pumpkin isn't that different. They're both gourds.
No,
See what I did? Do you see why I did that?
No. If you don't have the cultural taste buds that you need, it's a completely different consistency and taste. You guys, all of this pumpkin
You
stuff.
are completely different. They're very they're similar.
Same texture.
My dog.
You're not going to last a second on black Twitter.
My G, I'm telling you, it's not.
See, that's why I did that.
You know what we could do?
What's that?
I challenge this. One day I'll come back here.
Please.
We'll do a blind taste test.
That'd be awesome.
I don't doubt they're different, but you have to admit they're similar.
Similar in the way that Coke and Pepsi are similar, but I can still taste the difference.
Okay, all right.
We're in the same universe. Come on, brother. That's an attack.
We're
That's
saying
an
the same
attack.
thing.
Right, I got you.
So I would
Also, sweet potato pie is awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
So
a cultural state.
I continue by saying I learned this when I was watching the director's cut of Scarface. They had a whole pie scene that was deleted.
I didn't know that.
Get that pumpkin out of here.
So let Black
Scarface
Twitter
is a good
know.
movie, by the way. Scarface is directed by Brian De Palma.
Indeed it is.
It's a good movie. All right, bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
That was the news with Gina Grad.